Hi, my name is Bailey Sager.
Trent Jones, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Have a seat.
Here's a copy of my resume.
Thank you, sir. So Bailey, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Bailey Sager. I am 17 years old and live on a small farm in Cookeville, Tennessee, where I have horses, goats, cats, and chickens. I am very active in a variety of areas of 4-H, such as public speaking, forestry judging, wildlife judging, and my main project is computers and technology. I am always interested in learning how I can use my computer more effectively. I have learned skills through programming, and I'm also an experienced drone pilot. Would you like me to show you some areas of my 4-H project that I've been working in?
I would love that.
So I am a member of the Putnam County Junior Fair Board. We are a group of youth in Putnam County who work and try to make the fair as best as we can. So we'll always try to work on putting the events together and making sure everything stays organized. One of the areas that we work with is in the info booths. These are these stations that we have around the fairgrounds that enable people to come up and ask questions related to the fair. So they might ask a question such as, where are the restrooms, or when does this event happen? So these areas are very helpful for the many different attendees that come to the fair. So although these are very useful, they do have a lot of negative consequences. We would have 1 or 2 people at each one of these stations, and that can really bring down how much manpower that we have to help with other events of the fair. So we decided that we wanted to come up with a solution that will enable us to have these stations unmanned. So the first idea we came up with was to use a poster or a printout. This would be a cheap option for people to look up information, but it would be hard for them to find the information, and would also not be able to have all of the answers to the questions that they might have. We also had the idea of using the PowerPoint with slides that would move through, but we decided that would be impractical, as they would have to wait for a slide to pull up for them to find the information. So I eventually came up with the idea for us to use a touchscreen interactive kiosk to solve this issue. So to set up these kiosks, we decided that we would need a high-end tablet to provide an interactive touchscreen experience. And to keep security in mind, we decided that we would lock it in using a tablet stand that would prevent theft from occurring. So one of the areas that I worked in a lot was on software. We had to find a good solution for this that would provide a good experience for the user. My original idea was to use a PowerPoint running off a tablet that they could use hyperlinks to select the buttons and find the information that they need. However, this didn't work as well as we thought would, and we eventually came up with the idea of using a website that would provide some of the same features. This one up top is the original design we had, and one down here is our current one we're working on. This will allow someone to select FAQ to find the most frequently asked questions, or to look at the schedule, the fair book, or the map to find the answers themselves. And it would also give them the option to give feedback on the fair through a survey. So we were unable to use these last year, which we had originally planned, because of COVID. So we are hoping that these will be successful at this year's fair in August. We are hoping that if these work as well as we think they will, that they'll be successful in future years, and we can even provide more in different areas of the fair.
Okay, thank you, Bailey, for sharing your showcase with us. First, I'd like to ask you, what were your roles in helping create the fair kiosk?
Well, I was chosen by the Junior Fair Board to be the chair for our info booth committee. So I was the one who was in charge of the research and development and the implementation of the kiosk. And I also helped to keep us organized as a group, and through that be able to ask them questions on any input that they had, and also to allow them to become more involved with it too.
All right. Sounds like you had quite a bit of leadership with that project. What are some other projects or activities that you've had maybe some leadership roles related to your computers and technology project?
Well, yes, I had the opportunity last year to participate in the SRTLC, and through that I was selected to teach a workshop about drones. And this has enabled me to be able to take my skills I've learned using drones and to also be able to build up on my leadership skills through that.
Very good. So one thing I always like to ask 4-Hers, no matter what project they're in, is why did you choose the computers and technology project to compete in?
Well, I decided that I really had a lot of involvement in this area, which I hadn't realized before. I've become very involved with flying drones and currently have about 5 years of experience with that. And I'm also very active with use of the computer and using PowerPoint, and have also been able to gain new skills through programming.
Very good. Well, it sounds like you've been very active in 4-H. You said you were active in forestry and wildlife, public speaking, and many other activities as well. And when we do our 4-H projects, we always want to go and be competitive and hopefully win sometimes too. And surely there's times that maybe you didn't fully accomplish that goal or something that you wanted to. Talk about one of those experiences and maybe how it's made you a better person.
Well, I believe that some of this was through the kiosk that I was designing. We had a bit of a slow period over the last couple of years due to COVID, and since the 2020 fair was what was going to be our fair that we were going to use the kiosk at, but we ended up having to push it forward due to COVID and do it this year. That has led to us having to build new skills in learning how to implement these designs for the kiosk, and have been able to learn how we can develop this further for future years.
And finally today, Bailey, what are your plans for your future and maybe your future career, and how has 4-H helped you in those plans?
Well, I believe that 4-H has made a huge impact on my life. I've been able to gain communication skills through public speaking, which is a skill that anyone will use at any point in their life. Through computers and technology, I've also been able to develop my skills through that, which I plan on using in mechanical engineering, which is what the career choice that I've made for the future.
All right. Where do you plan on going to college at? Have you made that decision yet?
I have. I plan on doing my first 2 years at Vol State and then doing the next 2 at Tennessee Tech.
Awesome. Very good job, Mr. Bailey.
Thank you very
Good
much.
luck to you today.
Thank you very much. It's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.